Hi, and welcome to Priestess Entrepreneur Kitchen Table Conversations. I'm your host, Cindy Morris. You might be wondering what a priestess entrepreneur is. Well, a priestess entrepreneur is a woman who connects with her own divine guidance, her intuitive guidance, and uses that information to create success in her business. And we know that being an entrepreneur takes a lot of courage. It takes courage, it takes fortitude, follow through. I mean, you really have to deal with a lot of stuff to make your business successful. And a lot of what you have to deal with is your own stuff. You have to deal with yourself. And that's where really the priestess energy comes in, because the more you can connect with your own guidance and your own inner beauty, the more empowered you will feel. Now today I am thrilled to have a very, very special priestess entrepreneur on our show. Her name is Roxanne Gould, and she's a model. And you know, we love models because what's modeling? It's all about glamour and all that deliciousness that we see in magazines and on the TV. I mean, everybody loves the world of glamour. And today we're going to talk with Roxanne about beauty, one of my favorite topics as well, because there is great power in tapping into our own unique beauty. So welcome, Roxanne. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us, you've been modeling since you were a tot little girl.
Yes, and actually that's one of my first memories I ever had. 3 years old.
Three?
3. That's when I did my first television commercial.
Wow. What was the commercial for?
Bare aspirin for children.
Oh.
And my mother was in the commercial as well.
Really? So your mother was a model too?
She was.
Actress?
Both.
Both.
And so was my grandmother.
And so was your grandmother.
My grandmother acted on Broadway in New York with her sisters.
So that was in the
20s?
20s.
Mm-hmm. And my mother was in the business right through her 60s.
So it's in your blood.
It is.
Totally
it's the lineage.
It's the lineage, which
yes.
Many of us do carry on the lineage of our mothers. So it's nice when it's a fun lineage.
It is nice.
Kind of fun and exciting. So you started when you were 3, and then kind of what happened?
Well, fortunately, I had a regular childhood. It wasn't the childhood where my mother pushed me to go and get jobs and go to castings, even though I was born in Hollywood, California, and we were right in the hubbub of it all.
Yeah.
It wasn't until after college that I decided to support myself full-time with it.
Yes. And so you went to New York? Where did that start?
After college, I packed up my things. I went to see you here.
Oh, you did?
I did. I went to see you. And as we know, it's not a fashion capital of the world.
Well, it is for flip-flops and running wear.
And horseback riding.
Yes.
All those natural kind of things.
Yes.
Yet I have the look that's more of a high-end fashion,
yes.
more sophisticated.
Yes.
So I had to go where my market was.
Right.
And once I got to New York, they said, you have to go to Europe.
Wow.
And at the time, it was a style of androgyny, and I didn't have that look. That's why they said go to Europe. Oh. It was the short hair and the boy look, you know, wearing ties.
And you could go to Europe and be feminine.
Yes.
Yes. So you were really smart. You went, like you said something very important. I went where the market was, rather than trying to make something happen where it wasn't happening.
Exactly. You need to go where the market is.
Yes.
So in the business, you need to be flexible. Yes. Get up and move, take an airplane, pack your bags, and have that flexibility. So it suits a certain type of character.
Yes.
To be in the modeling industry.
It seems insanely competitive.
That it is.
Yeah.
Yet, in my model coaching, this is what I try to bring to the forefront. If you're confident in your own style, then you start to believe that there is no competition because there's no one like you.
You're unique.
Totally
so
unique.
Let's talk about that. So you do a coaching service. So you coach models, but you also coach regular people who aren't going to model.
I advise regular people on their image.
Okay.
And I coach models or coach young girls that want to be models.
Very good.
So the young girls that want to be models, I need to help them with their confidence and help them not try to duplicate a look. because that's been done already. You need to have your own look, because that's what the casting director is looking for, someone unique that stands out.
Right.
So I build up their confidence.
How do you do that?
There are many ways. I don't know if we have the time to go into that.
Give me one example. Some girl comes to you, young girl, attractive, has the right body shape.
Yes.
And is interested in pursuing that as a career, but isn't sure enough of herself to put herself out there. Give me just one thing you would do with her.
That's a very good question, because it varies from person to person depending where their weakness is or their insecurity is. Yet, generally, I think I could answer that by saying to find out what their talent is and where they feel the most natural.
Right, so you emphasize what is already there.
Yes.
Yeah, and isn't that what you do with regular women too, as you
women who aren't in the profession,
who help them, let's emphasize the good parts and let's learn to de-emphasize the not so good parts. So
exactly.
So let's talk about more regular women, because probably on the show that's might be more
okay. All right, let's shift gears.
Yeah,
let's go to that.
So let's say someone comes to you and they're like, I just want to feel better about how I present myself. What kind of work do you do with women?
Thank you for bringing that up, because my tagline is feel good, look good, do good. You need to feel good in order to look good. It's not the other way around. And I know this from experience. If I was on a modeling job and it called for a very vivacious, all smiles look, I would need to fool myself until it became natural. Let's say I showed up, it was very early, or I was jet lagged, I didn't like the person I was working with, whatever.
Yeah.
I would focus on the positive aspects of feeling good, what it feels like. You have a smile, you have more energy, and eventually your mind starts to believe you.
Right.
And you don't have to think about it anymore. Right. It becomes a natural feeling, and then you look good.
It's kind of like when they say if you're trying to sell something on the phone, smile. And that comes across. It just moves the energy.
It changes your voice. Yes.
It changes everything.
Yes. So that is my tagline. So I help the woman feel good by listening to her. What does she like?
Right.
What does her life consist of? How does she treat herself, if she does at all?
Oh, this is so important. This is such an important thing.
We can't put ourselves 10th on the list.
Or not on the list
Or
at
not
all.
on the list at all.
Not on the list at all is what I hear. Too much.
Too much. And there is power in beauty.
Yes.
If you allow yourself time and put yourself number one on the list, you're going to empower yourself because you're recognizing your own beauty.
Yes.
Through doing things you like.
Right.
Little things. And it's amazing how far a little gesture can go.
Now, let's talk about something I think is really, really important, and that's that women tend to compare themselves to others, like women they see in magazines or actresses. And in my understanding, I always see, I worked in the flower business for years.
Right.
And so when you go to the wholesaler and you look all the flowers, well, there isn't one more beautiful than the other. They're all beautiful because they're unique in their beauty.
It's a perfect analogy.
And so for women, it's that way too. So how do you help a woman who says, but here's a classic, my thighs are too fat. Okay, that's a classic one. My thighs are too fat. Normal size thighs, my thighs are too fat. How do you help someone that's a very common complaint.
I find that women will look in the mirror and only target the negative. And it's not that it's that negative. They think of it as negative.
Right.
Too many wrinkles, the whole thing, the gray hair or whatever. Right. And we need to, all of us, look at our positive, because we bring to us what we focus on. What we put our attention on, we create.
Right.
So yes, I help them with their wardrobe to downplay maybe an imbalance in their figure.
Right. So if you think your thighs are too fat, probably mini skirts, not the way to go.
Don't work.
Don't do that.